Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Post Route Show. And now, here's your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
Good evening, and again, welcome to the Post Route, the show where we dive deep into conversations with Black quarterbacks, both past and present. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings, and as always, this show is proudly brought to you by Quarter Phi Back, the preeminent fraternity for Black quarterbacks and home of the prestigious BIP Memorial Trophy, the only national award that honors both the top HBCU quarterback and the top Black quarterback from high schools around the United States. As always, we look forward and are excited to be with you again tonight. If you enjoy what we're doing here at the Post Route and Quarter Phi Back, all we ask you to do is support us by one of three means. You can subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our Instagram page. You can hit us with the like button or tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode here on the Post Route. Join us live every Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for more phenomenal conversations. Well, before I bring on our guests, let me just do a little housekeeping. First, we want to give a big shout out to our frat brother, Mr. Thomas Woodson. He was on the show last week, and he was saying that he was looking forward to rising to the collegiate level in coaching. Well, that has now come to pass. He is now a member of the coaching staff at Gannon University over in Erie, Pennsylvania. So we are proud of him. Congratulations, Woody. We know you're going to do a fine job, and you're going to start working on turning out some awesome quarterbacks. Also like to give a little small shout out to my man, JJ Humphries, for joining me at last week's Scott Parks Legend activity that they had. He got a chance to meet two of his frat brothers. Jason JJ Humphries was there showing us how to get it done. Just fourth grader, but he got a chance to meet Terry LeCount, second Black quarterback to ever play at the University of Florida, and also Greg Gresham, the first Black quarterback to play at the University of South Carolina. Thank you, JJ, and his family, Talika and Trey Humphries, for making that possible for that fella, and we look forward to the upcoming season. Now, tonight, we have gone halfway around this globe to bring you tonight's guest. Yes, we are going all the way to the far east on the island of Japan to bring you our guest tonight. I want to say he's over in Kobe, Japan, by way of Columbia, Maryland, Oakland Mills High School, Lackawanna Community College, and did his last 2 years of collegiate football in Storrs, Connecticut at the University of Connecticut for those Huskies. Had a phenomenal season while he was there. He ended up his career with almost, 1 yard shy of 2,900 yards with 23 touchdowns while he was at Connecticut. And now he is a part of, you may not know it, but football, American football, is just growing all the time. He is now a part of what they call the X League in Japan. Please join me in welcoming my guest tonight, Mr. David Pindell, all the way from Japan. David, welcome to the Post Route.
Hey, appreciate you guys for having me. How are you guys?
Hey, we're great, man. We're great. First of all, I know everybody probably wants to know, what time is it in Japan? I'm sure everybody was trying to figure out that time difference. What time is it there, man?
Yeah, right now it's Tuesday morning, 8:05 a.m.
Okay.
So we're about like 13, 14 hours ahead of you guys.
13, 14. Okay. I'm sure, when people are trying to figure out time differences, it's always like, well, what time is it over there? And we're thankful that it is a great time. It's not impeding your sleep and your rest. So before we get into talking about what's going on with the X League in Japan and how all of that is working out, let's go back and talk a little bit about your career starting back at Oakland Mills High School back in Columbia, Maryland. When you started at Oakland Mills High School, were you already plugged into being one of the quarterbacks, or was that something that transpired after you got there?
Yeah, so it all started my sophomore year of high school at Oakland Mills.
Okay.
Um, Football was just something, I seen it on TV one day, and I was watching Michael Vick at the Falcons. I think it was like he was at the Eagles at the time, and I just seen him. You know how he runs around and makes the crowd go crazy, and I just wanted that feeling. So it's just something I tried out. I got inspired by that, and went to high school, and tryouts were coming up. It was around summertime, and I just like, I'm going to try football. And, I didn't get to play football when I was younger or anything like that, so it's just something I wanted to try. And yeah, I went there my sophomore year of high school, and it did not go how I wanted to. Everything just seemed so difficult, fast. I didn't
Yeah.
understand anything. When you watch it on TV,
Of
it
course.
looks very easy. But then when you got the linemen coming at you, you know how it is. It's just everything is just like it's just so much chaos. You don't know what to do. So every day practicing and in games, I just did not like that feeling. It just felt difficult. But after my first year, toward the end of the season, my coach, he said I had a lot of potential. He said I could throw the ball very far and I was fast. So he said
Okay.
all I need to do is just learn like the basics. So he's willing to work with me through over this off season, like the winter and the summer. And for me, I just like, okay, I'll come back. So when I did that, he just started, bringing me into his office every day, teaching me, a 3-step drop, a 5-step drop, slant route, out route, all that stuff. So each month, I just started, okay, I kind of understand this. I get more and more confident. And then I went back for my junior year, had a little bit more, got a little bit better. Still wasn't the best. And then going back for my senior year, it was like the whole off season. We really like dived into like really what quarterbacking was,
Yeah.
basically, concepts and stuff, and just teaching me how to be like a better quarterback than, what I was my sophomore year. And then we had a lot of great players around me, receivers, running backs that I just, just get the ball to my playmakers and finish my senior season out at Oakland Mills. I was like #1 quarterback in like state of Maryland and like the metro area, all that stuff. So I won a lot of accolades, and then started getting recruited. Maryland, Syracuse, Buffalo, those schools came to talk to me. But at the time, um, I didn't know anything about like the recruiting process and like the grading scale. So for me, I was just getting by. When I was in school, I was just, trying to get the average grade just to get by, not knowing you needed like a certain GPA to accept like a D1 scholarship. So by the time my senior season come, all these coaches were recruiting me. They were coming to visit me and stuff. And they seemed like my grades, like I think I had like a 2.3 or something like that. Like you needed at
Mm-hmm.
like a 2.5 to, accept a scholarship. So it was like 4 or 5 coaches that came to visit me from these big schools: Auburn, Tennessee, Buffalo, Syracuse, Maryland. And then it was a Towson coach, Towson University. He came
Mm-hmm.
and talked to me, and he was the first coach told me, he was like, even if we wanted you, David, with your grades, you cannot accept this division. You could not accept a Division 1 scholarship
Yeah.
because your grades are too low. You need like a 2.5 to accept one. And at the time, I really didn't know what that mean, but it basically sounded like he was saying, you can't get a scholarship. So then my coach broke it down to me. He was telling me after the meeting, like, yeah, your grades are here. You need to get here unless you score this on a test. And, or unless, if you still want to play college ball, you have to go like to a D2, D3. And he was like, nah, you want to go D1. These are like the biggest schools in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he's like, you can try to, score high on the test, or you can try to go to a lower level. I was like, in my mind, I was like, if the higher schools recruiting me in my second year playing football,
Yeah.
I want to try to get to the highest level.
Sure.
So finished out the year, didn't really make it. I finished with like a 2.4. So I was close, but I didn't make it. So I had 2 options. It was like my coach took me on a visit to Bowie State, which is down the street,
Right.
because they was interested in everything. And then Lackawanna College reached out to me. So they came up to me, they reached out to me, came to my house, talked to me. And Coach Duda explained what JUCO was. He was basically telling me, it's another opportunity. It's like an extra year of high school. Basically, you start over, get your grades right, and if you do what you're supposed to do, you can get recruited again. The process starts over for you again. And he's like, yeah, we're going to give you a full scholarship. We're in Scranton, Pennsylvania, in the middle of nowhere. We're a good football program. And that's all you're going to do there. Just, play football. You have an opportunity to come be the starter. They tell you the stuff you want to hear, like you want to be the starter and stuff. And me, I sucked into that. So I was like, hey, I'd rather take this opportunity to try to go D1 again. And you guys are saying, I'll be the starter. So I just fell for that and went to Lackawanna. And when I got there, they brought in a transfer from Virginia Tech, Andrew Ford, really good guy. And he was the starter. So I think the best thing was for him to be the starter that year because I learned so much from him, just learning how to, take the huddle, read like coverages, know where to go with the ball, just from him being in front of me because he played at Virginia Tech already. And he won a lot of accolades. He was like, I think, Rookie of the Year. He won the Elite 11 and all that stuff. So I just learned so much from him. He was a good friend. And then my sophomore year at Lackawanna, I won the starting job. And I just took all the knowledge I learned from him and then from my own abilities. Like I could already throw, I was fast, and I was mobile. I can, make plays. So I took that into account, put that all to me in my game going into my sophomore year. And then we had great coaches around me, great offensive line. We had everybody on my team that year with D1, all of them, my whole offensive line, all my receivers and running back went D1 that year. So we just had a great team all around, and that put me, in a position where I could, have a lot of success. I think I finished like second or third in like the national JUCO rankings as a quarterback. So then recruiting process started all over again at Lackawanna, and first school that came to me, was Louisiana Lafayette, and he's like, yeah, we're a D1 school and like the Sun Belt Conference and stuff. And then this time he was like, yeah, we want to offer you. And I didn't hear the whole, hey, you need this certain GPA to accept the scholarship. So I'm like, oh, I can accept these. Like I can, if I want to go here, I can say that. So then the week after that, Coastal Carolina came, like Rhode Island, then Maine. So like those four schools, like two D1s and then like two small FCS. And then it was like the week before January 1st, week before New Year's, Temple called me. So then after Temple called me, then they all just started rolling in. It was like Temple, UConn called me right after that. Then New Mexico called me. Then Southern Mississippi called me, Central Florida, Eastern Michigan, and all these D1 schools just started calling me. And I started getting a little overwhelmed because it's like, first started with like these 2-3 small schools. And then all these schools started coming. I didn't know it was like this. And then my coach was telling me, yeah, you're going to have a lot of schools calling you in the next couple of weeks. And JUCO National Signing Day was like, I think like February 3rd, the first or second week of February, something like that. So I had to, take visits and try to make a decision within like a month. So Stu's was calling me and stuff. And I just like, okay, let's narrow it down to my favorite. So I narrowed it down to Temple, UConn, Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina, took my visit there first. Loved it. South Carolina was great. It's peaceful. The school, the campus was great. And the football team, I guess they were good, but this was their first year coming from FCS to going FBS. And then I looked at their offense, and like the coach was talking to me offense. They were in like a triple option. I'm like, I want to play quarterback. I don't really want to run the ball. I want to, throw the ball. Then I took my visit to Temple. I knew a lot about Philly because my mom's side of the family is from Philly. So I've been to Philly a lot. My mom, we always went to Philly, a lot of family in Philly. I know how the lifestyle is in Philly. It's kind of like Baltimore. So took my visit there. And, the football facility is nice. The coaches, the program was good at the football facility, but the environment is just, not my cup of tea. Like, I just didn't want to be around that environment. So I just had to hold out on that for a second. So then I went to UConn last. Took my visit to Connecticut. And then it was just peaceful up there. It was like a big campus in the middle of nowhere. Great facilities, great campus, great facilities, good people there. And then when I was talking to the coach had just came from Auburn, Coach Lashley. And my favorite college quarterback time was Nick Marshall. Him and Gus Malzahn and that Auburn offense. And when he recruited me, he started talking offense. He started showing me film. And I'm like, yeah, this is exactly the offense I want to be in. Like this type of offense, the spread offense, zone read, put the quarterback on the edge, run and shoot, try to get the ball out quick. Then he explained to me like the football history of Connecticut, like they haven't been good in the last, 5-6 years. The quarterback situation is like it's open. They're looking to bring a guy in JUCO to, compete for the starting job. and then not too far from home, like good 6-7 hour drive from Maryland. So like it's perfect. It's like good distance from home, opportunity to come in and compete, and it's D1. And it was peaceful. The area was peaceful. So after I took my visit there, the coaches kept calling me from other schools like Temple, Coastal, and all this stuff. And for me, it was like Temple had a better football program. Like, the history, Temple
Yeah.
tough. Their football program always been good. So I'm just like, do I want to go to a good football program? Do I want to go here and, try to compete for a starting job? And the coach from Temple called me. He was like, well, I know it's a new process for you and, it can get stressful, but he just broke it down to me like this. He was like, if you just take football out of it and you just think about, the schools, the environment, the
Mm-hmm.
campus, where would you want to go to school? And that just simplified my answer very quick. I was just like UConn, like without no question, because like just thinking about being around Philly, walking around Philly daily, just like I just don't like being in Philly. So I
Mm-hmm.
just like
Mm-hmm.
told him I'm gonna go to UConn, and he's like, I understand it and everything, and he just wished me luck. So told the coach from UConn like I want to go there, and then committed to UConn. So after I got to campus, 2017. Camp competed for the starting spot, me and the senior quarterback, and I won the starting job. So going into the first game versus Holy Cross, second quarter, I was good. I think I was completing all my passes left and right. Boom, boom, scored, drove down, scored a touchdown. Then that second half, like that second quarter or third quarter, and came back. I don't know. Everything just seemed so fast. Like everything just seemed
Mm-hmm.
fast. I guess I didn't know what I was thinking or whatever, but everything
That
just seemed so
adrenaline,
fast.
man.
So I just started, yeah. I did a zone read, run to the left. I had the ball in my inside arm, and I fumbled the ball. So then they got the ball, they scored. Then I went back in for a drive, got first down, second down, 3 and out. And that third down, it was like verticals, and it was cover two. And I had mentally made a decision, I'm going to predetermine, just throw it to the outside receiver no matter what. And the safety got over top the outside, and the bender was wide open, and I kind of forced it, and it just fourth down. He deflected it, got the fourth down, and so I just like beginning and a half, it just like I was just on top of it. And then that second half, it's like I just lost everything. Like what happened? Then the Coach Coach Edsel, they benched me. They put the other quarterback in, and then he was the starter for the rest of the year, all the way up until I think it was game like 6 or 7. And for me, I didn't look at it as a negative thing because for me, mentally, I told myself like I'm not supposed to be starting here. This is Division 1. These guys are bigger, faster,
Yeah.
stronger, smarter, and I came in and kind of won the job. And like I didn't think I was supposed to. I was supposed to be the starter, but I got the opportunity to start. So those next 6 weeks, I think people anticipated me to be sad and mopey and stuff, and it's just like no,
Mm-hmm.
I got to experience D1 ball now, and I get to learn. I get to relax. The pressure's off me. I get to relax, learn a little more. And then week 7, I think week 7 versus South Florida starter, he got a concussion, so it was my chance to go back in. So it's like those 6 weeks gave me more time to just practice, learn, and then once I got that opportunity back in for South Florida, went in, scored 2 touchdowns. We didn't win, but I scored 2 touchdowns. Then the next game we played Central Florida. Central Florida was a starter. Went there, threw for a good amount of yards, threw a couple of touchdowns. We lost, but you can see like my game started getting better over the last 4 games. So then after that we played Boston College. Uh, we lost. They cooked us in the rain, but threw a touchdown in that game. Had a little bit of success. And then last game of the year it was versus Cincinnati. So the end of 2017 versus Cincinnati was like I said that was like my best game. That gave me my confidence back again because went to Cincinnati. Game was going back and forth, and I think it was like 17 to like 16, 15 at the time. So then the last, fourth quarter, last 4 minutes, they ended up scoring or whatever they did. It was 21 to like 17, 21 to like 14, something like that. So we're down by a touchdown. So we backed up at the 1. We drove all the way down, all the way down. So we got to the last, 15 seconds of the game. I threw a goal line fade from like the 20, called the pass interference. So he's down at the 1 yard line. We called like a sprint right play, sprint right, like 1 second left on the clock. Boom! I threw a touchdown to tie it up, and like my confidence came back. Like the crowd's room from everywhere. I just so happy for me, and just like this whole game, I was just keeping our team in the game and making good decisions the whole game. Game right threw that touchdown to tie it up, and we ended up missing the field goal. We lost, but to end the season, that gave me a lot of confidence going into my senior year. And then my senior year, thinking, we're going to bring the same coach back and, just build off of that. And then we ended up getting a new coach, Coach Dunn from the Bears. And I think Coach Dunn might have been the biggest help for me because he basically, like when he first came in that meeting January, going into my senior year, 2018, I guess he was watching a lot of film. He brought me in the office and he was just like, I got a question. You don't really know football, do you? He's like, you can be honest with me. It's not a big deal. Enough. It's not a bad thing. And I was honest with him. I said,
Sure.
no, not really. Nobody taught me. It's just, I just tried to throw the ball to my playmakers and make plays based off my ability. He's like, yeah, I can tell. He's like, well, that's what I want to do. From now until August, I just want to, meet with you a lot. I want to try to make football simple for you. So every day from there on, we just met. He taught me football from like coverages, concepts, pure
Yeah.
progression reads and everything. So it
Mhm.
wasn't until my senior year, 2018, that I really like understood football. Like, hey, the purpose why we run this play, the why are we running this, third down situation, clock management, 2 minute situation, and small stuff like that. Because throughout my from high school to JUCO to 2017. Now, I was just playing, find your best athlete and just get him the ball, and just based off my ability. So I didn't really know like, hey, if it's one high, trying to throw the ball too high, let's try to run the ball and stuff like that. So over that whole, from spring, winter, summer, I just learned so much football from him, so much that going to my senior year, that first game versus Central Florida, everything just slowed down. Everything
Yeah.
just slowed
Yeah.
down, and that's when I probably took the biggest leap in football because you can see it in my stats and everything. It just um, I think I finished my senior season out like 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns, something like that, and then like 2,000 yards and like 19 touchdowns. So I just took a big jump, and we didn't have a lot of wins, but offensively we did so much. Like we took a big jump. We had so much success on offense that year because I just knew the game of football more. He taught me so
Yeah.
much, and that got a lot of attention from NFL teams. So he called me after the last game of the season versus Temple. He's like, yeah, you don't have a lot of coaches talking to you, a lot of coaches from the NFL teams calling and stuff. And for me, when he told me that, it was like my heart just started pounding. Like my dream was never to go to the NFL. It was nothing to
Mm.
me. I just wanted to play football, try it out, and see where it takes me. And it's just been taking me from JUCO to D1 to now like NFL teams calling me. And then he was like, yeah, but they're gonna try to, make you, change your position and stuff
Your
like that.
position.
And when you do your pro day, you might have to be open to just, try and run routes if they ask you and stuff like that. And for me, I was like, I'll do whatever they want. Like if I can be on the NFL team, like what? So throughout that next couple of weeks, teams start calling me. Like throughout the draft process, training for like pro day and all that stuff. Titans called me, Saints, Patriots, Ravens, Chargers, Bears, probably like 15, 16 teams that called me. And they all said the same thing, we'd be interested in you, coming in, playing some receiver or punt return just to, get the ball in hand because, we seen your film. And it's like, I get it, understand, when you watch my film, all you see is me running the ball and it look like a highlight video. So I get it, understand that part. Can't really see too much of me playing quarterback. And being honest with myself, it's just like I did not know too much at quarterback to, if they was like, hey, let's bring you in this quarterback. So I was like, hey, I get it. So all the way up until, draft day, the agent was telling me, you'll probably be like a third, day three, 6th round pick or undrafted priority free agent. So I'm just like, okay. So like the week before the draft, the Ravens called me right down the street, brought me in for a workout with me, another quarterback, and we was working out. We did a private workout, worked out, dropped back, threw the ball and all that. And after that, Coach Smith, well, I think his name was Urban Smith, something like that, the QB coach for the Ravens. He was like, yeah, man, great workout. We'll be in contact with you. He's like, yeah, we're probably going to pick up a quarterback in the late round. So I'm like, oh, this would be perfect. Lamar Jackson, the offense they run there. I'm from Maryland, right down the street. Oh, this would be great. Draft day
Mm.
come, day three come, and they end up drafting the dude from the workout, Trace McSorley at the time. They end up drafting him in the 6th round. So then after that, draft was over. Teams called me. Bears called me. Uh, Bucks called me. Chargers called me. They all called, said, hey, we want to bring you in as a receiver. What'd you think about that? And my agent's like, just keep waiting, just wait it. So like an hour later came, Vikings called me. Coach Kubiak called me. He's like, yeah, I know a lot of teams been calling you to bring you in as a receiver, running back and all this stuff, but we watched you and we think you can do some good things as a quarterback for us here in Minnesota. What do you think about that? Oh, it's great. like anything. And they mentioned like Joe Webb. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember looking him up. I was like, oh yeah, he played quarterback. He ran the ball a lot, and they used him. They used him a lot. So I was like, okay, they probably have a good plan for me up there. So it's like, yeah, we're going to sign or go to the Vikings. So we went up there for the mini camp. Got up there, and like the first day of practice, we had the red jerseys on. So then the head coach came up to me like when we were stretching to warm up. And he just was like, here, we got this jersey for you. He took the red jersey from me and gave me like a white jersey. Like, we want you to go with the running backs today. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna complain. I'm playing the NFL. Went with the running backs. Went with the running backs. Doing the running back drills. Stuff was a little difficult. It wasn't fun. I wasn't enjoying it, but I'm just trying to get through the motions, see what's next. So we get to our first team rep, do a stretch to the left, fumble. And I was just like, yeah, this is just not for me. I was not enjoying it. So then the next day, they're like, okay, we're gonna have you go with the receivers today. Went with the receivers, running routes, doing receiver drills and stuff. And then the team didn't really get a lot of reps. And then I think it was day 3, they switched. They were like, okay, we're gonna have you go with the punt returners. Same situation. So it was like every day they was moving me, and I was like, yeah, I'm just not having fun. I was just dreading every practice. I was getting ready to, I was
Right.
looking forward to just getting out of the practice so I can go back to the hotel. I told my agent, I was like, yeah, this is just not fun. They
Yeah.
didn't let me play quarterback or nothing. I'm playing everything but quarterback. He was like, okay. Tampa Bay called me. It was Antoine Randall, and
Okay.
he had played quarterback, and
Yep.
then they moved him as receiver and stuff. So he called. He was like, "Yeah, we still want to bring David in if he's interested, and I want to work with him." And he called me. He's like, "Yeah, if you don't know about my story, I played quarterback at I think like Indiana State or something,
Indiana. Yep.
and then brought me to the Steelers, and they used me a lot and had a career." So okay, so a couple weeks later, went to Tampa. Went to Tampa, and I already knew they was gonna bring me as a receiver. That's what they told me. So I'm like, okay. I was prepared to go as a receiver. I was doing the receiver stuff, running, learning the plays and stuff, and then uh, I got to catch some passes, in 7-on-7 and all that stuff. And then I think the problem with that was, they had to keep reminding me, how to line up and stuff. And it's like they didn't want to have somebody that had to keep, trying
Yeah.
to help. Because like this, the NFL, this a business, we're trying to move fast. So like the weeks I was there, every week they had to, hey David, line up outside, come in tight, shorten your split. And that's what he told me towards the end. Like when they let me go, he was like, yeah, it's just, the athleticism is there and you had a lot of potential. It's just, they don't want to have to, baby tell you what to do, how to line up and all this stuff because they're trying to play fast. So I was like, I get it. So then after that, I'm like, I thought, okay, I'm done playing in the NFL. What's next?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, it can't be this quick. So I just kept training and stuff. I went home, started working at my high school as a like teacher, and then the end of October, agent reached out to me on Instagram because I was
Mm-hmm.
still working out, posting all my videos and everything. Because like, there's no way it's this quick. It's over. I still want to play ball. So agent reached out. He said, are you on the NFL roster, CFL, something like that? I was like, no. He's like, have you heard of the CFL? I was like, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. He was like, well,
Yeah.
what do you think about, if I can get you on a roster up there, would you go? And I did my little bit of research. I was like, yeah, I'll go. It's pro football, a lot of old NFL names I heard of, played up there.
Yep.
So a couple of days later, he called me. He was like, okay, so are you available to leave Tuesday? Like Tuesday morning, we're going to get you on a flight to Montreal. And I'm like, yeah, oh, shoot, this is fast. I didn't know it was this quick. So Tuesday morning came, booked me a flight, sent me up to Montreal. They gave me a contract, and boom, I was in Montreal. So I was up there in mid-season. Starting quarterback with Vernon Adams from Oregon, and started learning about the CFL, learned the CFL game. Everything started, it was good. I was in the practicing, learning the game of CFL and everything. Finished out the season. Like I didn't get no starting time or anything like that, but I was practicing, got my reps and everything. And the owner was like, yeah, you have a lot of potential to finish out the season. Lost the first round of the playoffs. So they was like, we want to bring you back in 2020 for camp. And, we want to see you in more reps, like team reps, and, go from there. So I'm like, okay, cool. COVID happened. And then that was it. Didn't hear from no more. CFL was shut down and everything.
Okay.
Still wanted to play football. So I just, the whole 2020, I was working, but I was still training, throwing and everything. After I went from work, I just trained, throw every day, and posted my videos. So then 2021 came. I think Quavo, the rapper from the Migos. I don't know if you know him, but he had reached out to me on Instagram like early January. He was like, "You still playing ball? Would you come play for my team?" And I was like, huh? So he sent me like the link. It was like FCF, like Indoor Football League. Johnny Manziel and like all these old football players that played high
Yeah.
level, like DeAndre Francois, Quentin Flowers, all these big dudes. Cavante Turpin on the Cowboys, he played in it. So he like, this is a new league. This is my team. You want to play for my team? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So a couple weeks later, like early February 2021, flew me down to Atlanta, and then I was playing in the fan control football league. It's basically a league where the fans call the plays. I think it lasts for like 2 years, but it was a good experience to just still play a little football and meet a lot of big time names there. I met a lot of big time players there. I scored the first touchdown in that the league history or whatever, and then to finish out the season. 2021, I ended up going to Albany after that. After we finished that season, I went to Albany in the Arena League, and we won a championship there. I wasn't a starter, but I got a lot of playing time there in the Arena League. So 2021 came, we finished in Albany, won a championship, and the starting quarterback was retiring. So it was like, Dad, David, we want you to be the next quarterback. We want you to be like our guy. Well, okay, cool. Going into the offseason, I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready to go back to Albany, finish up there. And then 2022 on my birthday, January 2nd, called me early in the morning, and hey, coach, was like, yeah, we see you working out a lot. Everything look good. Hey, we got a business decision. We want to trade you. Trade me to Orlando, Florida. I'm like, okay. Orlando's a great city. I love Orlando. So the contract I had in Albany, a great contract. They take care of your housing, meals,
Yeah.
and they pay you a certain amount. Oh, okay, cool. Thinking Orlando's gonna be the exact same. He's like, "I'm gonna put you on the phone with the owner." So they called me. He's like, "Yeah, we like you. We're gonna bring you here. I know the contract they got you up there in Albany is pretty good. So down here, what we'll do is, we'll take care of your housing and all that stuff. But here's the thing, if we take care of your housing, you only get paid this amount of money,
Yeah.
or we could pay you this amount of money, but you gotta find your own housing." So I
Yeah.
was like, "What? Leave this situation for this?" I was like,
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah.
Not interested.
Gotcha.
I'll figure this out. So I called Albany back. I was like, yeah, I'm not going there. And they was like, we'll call somebody else to trade you. So I'm like, y'all want to
Okay.
trade me? What the heck? Well, I
Hey,
just sucks,
David,
but you don't have to trade me.
hold that point, man. Let me take this break, man. We're gonna come back and finish up, and then we're gonna talk about what you're doing over there in Japan, because I know people really want to know about that football over in Japan. So just hold it right there. I'm gonna take this break, and we're gonna come right back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Our guest tonight, extraordinary quarterback, played at UConn, much experience in the leagues, NFL, CFL, arena, indoor, had his time, and we're happy to have him on. David Pindell, by way of Columbia, Maryland. Once again, we want to make sure that if you want to know more about Black quarterbacks and their legacies, all you got to do is get a copy of this book to know about the history and legacies of quarterbacks between 1903 and 1990. The Forgotten QBs is my first book that I wrote. A little known history, information, and statistics about Black quarterbacks. $35. You can go online to our website and put in your order, $35, and we'll get it out to you right away. Then also, we are letting you know that our merchandise is now available. So there are a couple of things that you can order right now. We're bringing in the other items as we speak, but we have our T-shirts, our golf shirts, of course, our headgear, our hoodie, and our warm-up. We are constantly looking at how we're going to upgrade our merchandise list, but these are our items for right now. So if you're interested in any one of those items, they're very easy to put in your order. And again, all you have to do is go to our website and send us an email for your order. The prices of their shirts are anywhere from $25 to $40. Golf shirt is $55, hoodies about $70, warm-up about $90, hats about $30, and of course, the least expensive item is our lapel pin. But anything you purchase, we'll get it out to you, and it will all be a help to us here, not only at the Post Route, but especially at Quarterfied Back, the preeminent fraternity for Black quarterbacks. So please do what you can to help us out. Put in your order, and we'll get it out to you right away. We're going to get back to my guest tonight, Mr. David Pindell, playing over in Japan in the X League. David, welcome back to the show. So one of the things that I heard you talk about, because you have really truly been blessed to be a guy who started playing football as a sophomore in high school, and you've had some great people, some great coaches to basically mentor you through your process of development. And I think that, along with the experiences, because not everybody gets an opportunity to at least be in camps for different leagues and get exposed to what you've been exposed to. So you have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge to just talk about the ins and outs. And when you were looking at being a quarterback and they started talking about you transitioning to a different position, running back, receiver, punt returner, was that something that really just kind of took the fun out of football for you?
Yeah, that's when I realized I have to be playing quarterback in order for this to be fun
Got
because I was just dreading the practices and like I was just waiting to go home to the hotel. I was just looking at the time trying to get it over with because I just wasn't having fun. When I'm playing
Sure.
quarterback,
Sure.
I'm always looking to, have extra practice and learn how to get better. But playing receiver and running back is just like, what time are we, going back to the
Yeah.
hotel? So I'm just like, yeah, this is not fun.
And the other thing, man, I really got to give a hats off to the coach from Temple for him approaching you about just being honest with him. He recognized where you were in the maturation of your career, and he just wanted to know, hey, man, I already know the answer to the question, but I need you to be honest with me. And that honesty, I think, helped you develop
Hmm.
as a young man and understand that, hey, look, I want to be a quarterback. I mean, yeah, I got talent, I got speed, I can run the ball, but that's not what I want. But by him doing that, I mean, I don't know how many coaches would actually do that with a player. Just say, hey, man, just be honest. I recognize where you are. And I think that probably helped bond you guys together, that it put a lot of trust in your relationship.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Well, I think that was good. And just the fact that, your high school coach, man, and your college coaches just helped bring you along. I thought those were some outstanding points, man, because a lot of times coaches just want the athlete part and not concerned about the individual part. And yeah, I know you're talented, but mentally understanding this game is a part. As a quarterback, you got to know the game. You can't just say, well, I can throw it and I can run it, because you are expected to be that guy who knows it all.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
I think you being real about the whole situation, man, I think has probably done more for you in your career than anything, because it's like, okay, I know what I am. I know what I want to be. I know what I
Hmm.
don't want to be.
Exactly. Yep.
And I don't need people telling me, hey, watch your splits, do this, do that. No, man, that's okay. So now, how did you get to Japan?
Yeah. So basically, how I got to Japan after 2022, when
Yeah.
Albany and trying to treat me and everything, I just like I'm done playing arena ball. I'm gonna just keep posting my video, trying to figure out what's next. Cause
Yeah.
yeah, so I just kept posting my videos. Then the guy from the team out here, he seen one of my videos, so he kept reaching out to me, but I wasn't looking at my messages. So he reached out
Okay.
to the guy I was training with. He was like, "Can you get us in contact with David?" So he
Okay.
told me, and I just kept denying him like. Japan football, there's no football in Japan. I just kept ignoring him. He was like, yo, we want to get you on a Zoom call. Can we get you on a Zoom call? So I kept ignoring him. So he like just answered them, see what they want to talk about. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I finally accepted the call, got on a Zoom call with them. And they just started talking football, telling me, they have football in Japan. It's been here for 30 plus years. Um, every team's allowed four Americans. There's it's an East and a West. It's like seven
Yeah.
teams on East, 7 teams on the West. Then he showed me like the Instagram page, and I seen all the content, and I went on to YouTube, and I seen so many videos and highlights. And oh, they really have football out there. So then he was like, yeah, basically, we'll pay for your housing here, your flight, and then you'll get paid a salary per month. So when he broke out the contract, hello, this is a really good contract. I'll do it. My teammate said he's doing it too. He said he's going to Japan. So that was the main reason why I went the first year, because it's like if he goes, I'll go, because I
Okay.
felt like I could trust him. If he's going
Sure.
here, I felt safe. So a couple days later, another team from this team, I guess they found out about me. So another team from this league called me and they was like, hey, can we bring you to California, LA for a workout? I was like, sure. Went to LA. We went out there for a workout. They offered me a contract, two teams. Then after that, right after the workout, another team from this league called me and said, can we fly to Atlanta to do a workout? I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, wow, okay. A lot of people find out about me. So they flew into Atlanta. I did a workout down there. So I'm talking like four teams already, and I have no idea what this X League is, but four teams calling me, flying me around the states to work me out, and they loved me. So the team I'm on now,
Yeah.
they talked to me first, but then they kind of like after 2 weeks they just stopped talking. I ain't hear from them, but all these other teams started talking. So then I was about to sign with one team, and this team called back. It was like, hey, did anybody offer you a contract? And I was like, yeah, three teams offered me a contract. He was like, oh, well, we want to offer you a contract. So I was like, they want to get in the mix real quick. They was like, we want to offer you a contract. And the only reason I picked this team, the first initial reason was because my boy, he signed to this team. I was like, I just want,
Okay.
I train with him. I want to play with him. So when he signed the team, I didn't care about what the other teams are paying and anything. I just was like, hey, I just need to go somewhere where I'm playing with somebody I
Sure.
know and I'll feel confident. So I signed with this team. We got out here the first year, 2022, and we didn't realize this was a terrible team. But first year, we took them all the way to the semifinals of the playoffs. It was one game away
Yeah.
from the Rice Bowl, which is the Super Bowl. And then
Right.
after that, they fell in love with me and they gave me a 3-year contract after that. And that's where I'm at today. I'm in year 4. Well, year 3
Okay.
of the new contract.
And how do you pronounce the name of the team?
It's called the Elecom Kobe Findies.
The Finies.
Yeah.
Now, is the Finey some type of animal or mascot or something over in Japan that we don't know about?
I have no idea what a Findy is. I think that's just the company name, the Elecom Kobe Findies with a star.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Y'all got to start like the Cowboys. They
Yeah,
got to
exactly.
start. Okay. So I'm looking and I'm reading where, potentially they could give you an extension on your contract. I think it's great that you were able to get a good contract with a salary and incentives. You guys play. I was surprised to read that, this league has been around as long as it has been, and they've been playing for championships for as long as they have, man. And it must be pretty popular over there because this would have been the last sport I would have ever thought would have been popular in Japan. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
me too.
So
surprised me.
Yeah, but obviously it has become home for you.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I think that's a good thing, man. So now when the guys go to the Rice Bowl, other than I guess a ring, they get a ring. What are some of the incentives, or what do the players get for winning a championship over there? Is it like over here?
Well, I can't speak because I haven't been to the Rice Bowl yet, but from what I've heard and stuff, I could say, obviously, you win like a big trophy,
Right.
and I see they get this big chunk of rice thing, I guess, because the Rice Bowl to get them big thing of rice, and
Yeah.
then that's all I know. And then obviously I know your salaries increase when negotiate
Sure.
and stuff. That's all I know,
Sure.
but
Okay.
I haven't been to the Rice Bowl, so I can't tell specifics about what they get and stuff.
Okay.
But they
Well,
do a
in
big
reading,
celebration and everything.
they identify you as one of the top players in the league, so that's a good thing. What would you say are the stark differences between playing ball in Japan and playing ball in America? What would you say that might just jump out at you, just if you saw it without ever seeing it before in your life?
The number one thing that stands out like initially is the size.
Okay.
The size, the players, just the skill players, linemen, everything. America, much bigger,
Yeah.
much faster, stronger. But even in Japan, they're a little smaller. But however, they still compete. It's not no just
Sure.
pushover league. They still compete,
Yeah.
and they're very, they're very quick over here, but they're smaller. So like,
Gotcha.
I kind of look bigger than half the players in this league, and I'm only like 6'1", 200 pounds. But
Okay.
yeah, the size is the biggest thing, and then obviously the language barrier, the communication. There's ways you communicate with your team, but that's probably the biggest thing. Especially in America where football you need to communicate the most.
Yeah.
Here it's like you're limited because unless you not speak full Japanese or they can speak full English, it's just like the communication is very minimal. And then other than that, everything else the same. Same American rules. They
Okay.
compete. Football season, is in the spring. I mean, fall time, September all the way to November. Then December is playoffs, and then the first week is the Rice Bowl, which is like the Super Bowl. So that's probably the biggest. That's it. Biggest differences.
So I read where you guys only play like 6 regular season games per year. Is that the way that works out,
Yeah.
or has
Well,
it
I think they
changed?
bumped it up to 7 this year. But yeah,
Okay.
we basically play 6, 7 games, and you play every other Sunday. So instead of every week, play every
Yeah.
other week. So yeah.
Okay. How does that suit you? Playing every other week.
I think it's good. It gives me time to, take a break, relax, especially after you just play, recover your body
Yeah.
and get healthy for the next game. That we can just keep playing. I like it. But the
Okay.
only thing, so the difference out here, another thing is American football is, Monday through Sunday. So you're
Yep.
practicing Monday, through Sunday, and then, walk through and then game day. Here, it's complete opposite. Because the Japanese players, they work. So Monday through Friday,
Okay.
they're working. So we don't do nothing Monday through Friday. We only practice Saturday and
Really?
Sunday. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we only practice Saturday and Sunday, so we only get 2 days to really prepare for the games.
Oh wow.
And I prefer like to practice Monday through Friday, like get all those reps in and stuff. So
So how does David Pindell kind of keep in shape, keep tuned up because you don't have as much practice time? How do you kind of stay on top of your game?
obviously we have a gym nearby, so I go to the gym 3 days a week just to
Okay.
work out, keep my strength. But the biggest thing how I can prepare is from the mental part. So since we're not doing nothing Monday through Friday, I just watch so much film, and I watch a lot of videos and clinics and stuff on just football in general, just to learn
Yeah.
as much as I can about the game. And it's like the more knowledge I've just been gaining over the time, just sitting Monday through Friday, I learned so much about the game. Whereas now I can give my part in the game plan. It's like, hey, I think we should do this based off this coverage, what they run, and this is the front they give us. So it's just like I just learned so much from the mental part of just learning more and more about football. And now I just every day uh I help with the game plan. So I just come up with new
Okay.
plays and like what I want to do for the next opponent.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, what are the fans like over there? Are they really into the game, and have you become one of their top players that they really gravitate toward? What is it like to play over there amongst their fans? Where I know baseball is one thing, I know soccer is another thing, and some other sports. But what are the fans like over there, and how have they been with you thus far?
Yeah, surprisingly, the fan base is pretty big over here. Like the games be packed. There be a lot of
Okay.
people at the games, and even at the Rice Bowl, it kind of makes you feel like you're at like a Power Five Division One game because I think the stadium holds like 40,000 people, and it was packed. So they have a lot of fans here. I don't know if the fans really know what's going on, but they show up to the games all the time, and they're there clapping and cheering. And then I think they support me a lot. They follow me on all the socials. After all the games, they send me messages and stuff. And after games, they all want to take pictures and stuff with me. So I think they know me because I'm a little different out here.
Of
They're
course.
not used to seeing an athletic quarterback who can move. So it's like
Right.
when they first seen that, it's just like, wow, this is different because they haven't seen that out here before. So it's like this is new to them. So when they see
Yeah.
me and they see somebody who can run and like make people miss and stuff, they look at me like a superstar. So it's just like I appreciate it.
So when you go out, do people recognize you when you go out, man, and they see you out in public? Do they recognize you?
Uh, on game days, like when I'm at the stadium and stuff, like the football fans, people know me. Yeah, but just people in general, not really. But during game
Really?
day, yeah, people they know me.
Okay. Because I would
Yeah.
think that, man, with you having the presence that you have over there, man, if they see you out somewhere, it's like, man, there's David, there's Pindell. I mean, yeah, let's run up to him and get an autograph or something like that. Uh, are you finding that the children, the kids over there, are they starting to embrace American football?
Yeah, I think just football in general has been coming to grow
Yeah.
internationally because flag football I think is the biggest like ambassador right now. Like
Okay.
everybody is involved with some version of flag football. Like here, uh, on the weekdays, they have me teach flag football on the weekdays to kids at different elementary schools, pretty much almost every week. And because I guess they just interested in growing the sport. So it's like little
Yeah.
girls, little kids, high school girls, high school boys. They're all just involved with flag football. And then, once they find out, oh, David plays, American pro football with the pads on and stuff,
Yeah.
it's just like they get more interested in it, go look it up and stuff like that. So it's definitely growing like internationally.
Well, that's a big thing, man, because like I said, finding out about you in Japan, knowing about another one of our frat brothers that we've had on the show. He's over in Mexico. Got a guy in Europe. Got another guy in Europe, Germany, then Norway, and just knowing that these countries
Mm-hmm.
are having American football in them, and knowing that they're having success, it's just phenomenal. I mean, you would never think it, because you would think, like with most international countries, when you say football, they mean soccer.
Yeah, exactly.
They mean soccer. But now, when you say football, they're like, yeah, football is American football, and then soccer is that other football. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a great thing, man. Has the culture been something that you've taken a good liking to, and do you take any type of language classes to help you, overcome the language barrier?
I haven't really took any Japanese classes to learn the language. I think the
Okay.
easiest way for me, how I've been learning the language, is just being around my teammates and hearing them talk throughout practice 3, 4 years in a row. So when I hear so much stuff, like, I've been able to naturally pick it up. So I've got a
Okay.
good grasp on, understanding what's going on and trying to communicate with my players. The culture is much different from American culture. I
Sure.
like the culture. It's peaceful, quiet, very respectful. Everybody minds
Absolutely.
their business.
Absolutely.
Safe out here. You wanted to move a family out here, great place for that. Everybody just works. They work, work, work. It's
Mm-hmm.
clean, it's safe, it's peaceful out here,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I just enjoy a lot of peace. So that's the part I like about it.
So now the city you're in, is that Kobe?
It's called Kobe. Yeah,
Kobe. Okay. Kobe.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I am so glad that you are an ambassador for our game of football. I'm glad that you have found that place, man, that suits you, that fits you. Because, again, when you were talking about your growing up and learning this game, one of the things that you also spoke about was finding a team that fit you. And one of the things that I think that's so very important is not every system fits every guy.
Hmm.
Just because a team can pay you a lot of money, that doesn't mean that system is going to
Hmm.
be a good fit for you. The
Yeah.
the pocketbook wise, yeah, your bank account is a great fit, but
Hmm.
when that fit doesn't transition on the field, and you're not, you know, they're not what you expected, you aren't what they expected, and it's not gelling.
Exactly.
That's the part that I think a lot of people don't give a lot of credence to, man. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think that's the most important part, and especially in this business. Because the ultimate goal is to have longevity and have a career. And it's like, if you're chasing the money first, yeah, you don't get the money that you want, and then your career is going to cut short like this. Especially if the system is not right for you. You play there 1 year and just don't go well. Then it's like, hey, that makes you look bad. And it's like, now nobody wants to sign you in the next contract. Whereas you take the little bit of money, but the system works great for you, and it's everything you need. You can just keep building on that, and that'll lead to having a career,
Yeah,
5, 6, 7 year career.
yeah,
But I think a lot of people are just so hungry for money at first, where it's just like, well, if you make a lot of responsible choices in the beginning, you won't have to worry about the money. You have to just focus on football and doing what you love, rather than, hey, I need to make the most amount of money in this short amount of time, and it's like I'm just trying to look for the biggest dollar, and it's like, not me. I'm the opposite of that. So.
well, and that's what I heard, man, because again, for you to have a short high school career, no previous experience, and then when you got to where all these colleges were calling you. I mean, I'm sure that just was like overwhelming, that how do all these people know about me? I barely played football, but everybody's calling me up. Then when you finish with college, all these pro teams are saying, yeah, we've seen your film. We see you can run. We see you got speed. So, but again, I think you probably are a good person to talk to when we talk about the business aspects of playing professional football and what it means, because yeah, they could bring you in, but you know, like you said, you went from one day you're with the running backs. Well, that's not really working out, coach. Let's try him at wide receiver. That's not working. Well, let's give him a shot at running back punts. And that's so your experience, man, to me is just so priceless, because you can talk about a lot of things that you experienced and how to deal with the not having them work out for you, because you could have easily become dejected and said, forget this, I'm gonna do something else. But I admire your positivity and the way you basically adjusted and transitioned to the point where, hey, you just kept grinding, man, and say, look, okay, it didn't work here, I'm gonna keep going. And it is taking you to where you are, man. And that was one of the things I certainly heard when you were sharing your story with us, because not everybody talks about it from that perspective. So thank you so very much for that, man, because some other guys need to hear that, because everybody don't make it in the pros. Everybody don't make it in the pros. And I think a lot of times we think we're going to make it, and it's like, dude, do you know how many college football players there are? Do you know how many pro players there are? The math just doesn't work out. It just don't work out. And even if you're the best, sometimes business-wise, it still don't work out for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
So I think that learning process, man, in what I heard was invaluable to you, was such a value that, hey, you learned it probably maybe not the best way, but it was definitely the right way, because you can appreciate where you are based on where you've been.
Absolutely.
Well, great. Last thing before we close this thing out, man. I know it's difficult being in Japan sometimes, but your folks get a chance to come over and see you sometimes?
Yeah. So what they did in the second contract was, since they showed so much love to me, they said, because I told them, at the time after the second contract, they offered me, XFL teams were calling me and stuff, and I was telling him, I might go back to America. He was like, what can we do to keep you here in Japan?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, my family never seen me play like in person, so I would like them to come see me play. So what they did is, now and every year they fly 4 of my family members out every year to come watch me play. So that's a good thing.
Very good. Well, David, thank you again so very much for being on our show tonight. Want you to know that because of that, and because of you being on the show tonight, you have now become a member of our brotherhood under the fraternity name Quarter Five Back. You will now become a lifetime member of our organization and what we do. We will now be sending you your letter of induction and acceptance, and we'll send you your certificate, your lifetime membership certificate stating that you are a member of our organization. So thank you so very much, and welcome to our fraternity.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys for having me.
So we will be getting that out to you. You'll probably get an email, because I already got it set up and ready to go, knowing that you're kind of a difference in time. But that's the Q5B, and just share what our mission is. We're just trying to make sure that the legacies of Black quarterbacks, man, are not ever forgotten, and you are now part of that legacy, because the Black quarterbacks who come and play at UConn will be standing on your shoulders.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, that's going to about do it for us tonight. Thanks again to David Pindell for being our guest. We hope everybody enjoyed the show. Until our next show next Monday night at 7 p.m., what we want to tell you, as we always do here at the Post Route, go deep and go for the bomb. See you guys next week.